my god, no! We're not doing this! This movie is messed up! Let's get this. It's literally a movie regarding a bee trying to swing his stinger for a human woman. We've all grown up now. We all know what this movie is about, and I'm reviewing it anyway. My name is Nando. You get a video from me every week, baby. Subscribe now as I review... Oh, Christ, whatever the hell this is. The movie begins showing the DreamWorks logo with the balloon boy trying to land on the crescent moon when our main character Barry the Bee starts bugging the boy enough to where his fingers slip and has fallen to his death. Holy shit! We are like 15 seconds into this film and Barry already has enough dirt to prove himself as to why he's guilty. Guilty! And if it doesn't get weird enough, the narrator then straight up makes a comment for Brandon how it doesn't make sense for bees to fly due to the size of their wings and straight up body shapes them for no reason at all.
Its wings are too small to get its fat little body off the ground.
Dude, you're allergic to bees, man? Like, what the hell they do to you? Within me, our main villain of the film. Sorry. I misread the movie's direction. So then we meet our main hero of the film named Barry, who as a bee has parents? What? Bees don't really do that, I believe. I'm not bee guy here, but like I think bees only have like one queen that lays eggs but does no part in parenting them. How do you make a bee movie without knowing those general knowledge facts? My lord, I sure hope this won't become a common theme within this movie as it goes on. Oh gosh, I'm in for a treat. Anyways, Barry, who has graduated from college and is now about to enter the hive honey making workforce business. So he's a girl, because he's not supposed to have a stinger, nor do male bees go to work, only the female bees do. Am I thinking too deep about a movie that's literally called The Bee Movie? Yes you are, yes you are, yes you are, yes you are. Nah!
That girl was hot.
She's my cousin.
She is?
Yes, we're all cousins.
Right, you're right.
I don't know how to feel about this joke. And they're having this tour to explore as to what they'll be doing in their job, but it's revealed as to whatever they choose, they'll have to spend their career doing it for the rest of their lives.
So you'll just work us to death?
We'll sure try.
Most realistic line that I've ever heard coming from a movie. So Barry and his friend would then witness the group known as the Pollen Jocks coming from their mission. They are a group of bees who have to collect pollen from flowers outside the hive. And within watching this for the second time, I had just realized that the Pollen Jocks all have buzz cuts. Because you get it? Bzzz. This whole movie is just one you get it? Joke. Which makes sense because Jerry Seinfeld, the voice actor who voices Barry and the producer for this movie, literally admitted that this movie got made because of a joke that he had made to filmmaker Steven Spielberg, and Steven actually thought the pitch was good. And that's where we are right now. Insanity.
Look at that. That's more pollen than you and I will ever see in a lifetime.
It's just a status symbol. I think bees make too big a deal out of it.
Unless you're wearing it and the ladies see you wearing it.
Aren't they our cousins too?
Distant.
You hear that? That is literally the sound you hear from the crowd when they heard that joke. The Pollen Jocks then offer to take Barry with them to see if he is bee enough. Seriously, like 20,000 bees die per pun made about their name. And wanting to feel the risk, instead of Barry choosing a job for himself, he sneaks off and starts some pollen gathering himself. And it's during this where the little scanner alerts and mistaken some tennis balls as actual pollen. Why that happens? I don't know. But Barry gets stuck on the tennis ball and it leads to this couple, Vanessa and Ken, and don't worry, we will get to them later, who end up using the tennis ball that Barry is on to play, and just when Barry's life seems dire, his life is only saved because a small sound of a bee's cough leads to Ken somehow being able to listen to that and getting distracted enough to not accidentally hit Barry. How does that even work? Don't ask me because neither do I know. But then the weather begins to start raining, and with Barry in a panic because bees aren't really the best with dealing with this kind of weather, a water droplet tackles him down and drop him conveniently at Ken's apartment. But with Barry mistaking a light bulb for the sun, it leads to Barry hitting his head and landing on the chip dip. With Ken's friend unaware, they dip their chip with Barry in it and they are about to eat it, and that's where Ken was able to notice and scream his life out just to get his friend to not eat the bee. And wow, what a good friend Ken is for that. I sure hope this act of kindness doesn't punish him later. Right? Right? Oh no! So Ken tries to kill the Beat, but his girlfriend Vanessa stops that from happening, admitting that he has to kill the Beat because he's literally allergic to them.
This thing could kill me!
Well, why does his life have any less value than yours?
He's allergic! The Bee will die in 2 weeks! What does this line even mean, Vanessa? And Vanessa, for no reason, tears Ken's resume brochure, something that he was really passionate about making, and you use that to free this bee. What the hell, Vanessa? You're acting like your boyfriend, who is allergic to bees, is being overdramatic, and with his actions, you punish him by tearing his brochure that he worked on for no reason. Red flags, man. Red flags. And she's swinging a big one with pride. Barry, who then gets infatuated with Vanessa for saving his life, goes to Vanessa and wants to give his thanks, and well, this is the moment you've all been waiting for.
How should I start it? You like jazz?
Beautiful. He said the thing. But sadly, this movie has to continue. So Barry gives his thanks, to which Vanessa can hear because bees can talk to humans, I guess.
I had to thank you. It's the way I was raised. Are you alright?
No.
Oh, trust me, from what we're about to see in this film, we believe you. And this is where Vanessa and Barry are having a bonding moment together, what they do in their current lives, and I guess this is where we really have to push this direction, that Barry wants a human. And with Barry stuck in to find a job, it's got his parents all worried.
Well, I've got a lot of big life decisions I'm thinking about.
What life? You have no life. You have no job. You're barely a bee.
Hey, they're as supportive as my parents. And so to ignore his parents, Barry goes off to swim in the honey and has this really weird love dream with Vanessa, and it's just as uncomfortable as it sounds.
You coming?
No.
All set.
You go ahead, I'll catch up.
Don't be too long.
Some would say this is how people would have wished for this movie to end. And Barry and Vanessa are out grocery shopping.
Lust.
Oh my goodness! Are you okay?
And this is where Barry realizes that humans have been stealing and eating the bees' honey, leading Barry to go back to the supermarket to investigate more, and this is where he has the sword fight with one of the co-workers at the store, somehow managing to beat the human and begins to interrogate him as to where the honey is coming from. Yeah, sure, why not? So Barry follows this truck to find out the poor treatment that bees are getting from the humans. He tries to break the news to his parents, but they just simply don't believe him.
I dated a cricket once in San Antonio. Man, those crazy legs kept me up all night. Hachiwa.
I can't tell if I'm hate watching this or I'm just generally disturbed with most of this movie's writing. Both. So Barry's on the news, the Bee News if I should clarify, and that's where he gets interviewed by the Bee version of Larry King, I guess, as to where he admits that his goal is to sue the human race for their theft with the honey. What am I watching, man? Ken and Vanessa are busy having their little yoga night together, to which Barry intervenes, and that's where Vanessa confesses that she's going to help Barry sue the human race. And Ken is just all of us right now hearing all this and is just going like,
I'm helping him sue the human race.
What?
you and me both, Ken. You and me both. And Ken, without really doing anything wrong, gets kicked out of Vanessa's store, dropping the yoga date night just so she could help Barry with this case of trying to sue the human race. You're really dropping a man who did nothing wrong just so you could spend time and flirt with the bee. A bee. Are you not understanding this concept, Vanessa?
Why is yogurt night so difficult?
And so it's time for the court case. And just so by the way, I wanted to get as much info as I could for this scene, so I watched a video that came from Legal Eagle, to where he is a real lawyer and he actually reviewed this scene in the movie. And I found his video to be really quite funny, because in this video he tries to explain that realistically you can't sue the human race. You have to sue a recognizable entity like a person or a group of people. And for this guy to make an example to his point, he literally mentions many cases of people trying to sue God. Which is hilarious that someone has to mention about God being sued to have it be compared to a scene that's happening in a movie called The Bee Movie. Man, I love the internet. And he also mentioned that Vanessa's not really supposed to learn law, nor really help Barry during this case, as she's not even a lawyer, nor does she have a license to officiate in this. And so we begin the case, and thankfully the writers realized how stupid the concept of suing the human race was, and just decided to have Barry try to sue the honey farmers. The trial goes well, I guess?
And not only that, it seems you thought a bear would be an appropriate image for a jar of honey.
Well, they're very lovable creatures.
Yeah, you mean like this? Bears kill bees! How'd you like his big hairy head crashing through your living room?
I truly have no idea what is happening in this movie anymore. Did Kate even like this movie? Vanessa then has dinner with Barry, and when King comes in, Vanessa just acts all nervous and off-putting. Like, are you actually attracted to this bee? Like, are we really doing this in this movie? And the insanity just increases because Vanessa would admit that she let Barry use Ken's razor. Bro, what part of Ken is allergic to bees that you don't get? Do you want this man killed or something? Ken, please get out of there now. This woman is way too toxic for you. So Ken, out of pure insanity of witnessing his own grown-ass girlfriend slowly lose feelings for him over an insect, tries to take Barry out, and hey, look, man. Realizing that your girl is finding more interest in someone else is such a tough feeling to have, but don't think we should be going this far to repent with our sad feelings.
I think something stinks in here!
I love the smell of flowers.
How do you like the smell of flames?
Not as much.
So, unfortunately, Vanessa saves Barry from Ken and begins to argue with him, kicking him out in the process.
And for your information, I prefer sugar-free, artificial sweeteners made by man! I know it's got an aftertaste! I like it!
The second day of the court goes on, and this is where one of the main farm owners in this lawsuit, Montgomery, insults Barry and offends his whole bee racer family, leading to Barry's friend Adam going out to sting him, causing Montgomery to over-exaggerate the pain to help support his case.
Will come forward to suck the poison from my healing buttocks!
Why was that needed? And thus we reach the third day of the court case, and it leads to Barry showing evidence of the farmers using bee smokers to help gather honey from the bees without really getting their consent for it. And thus Barry and I guess the bee race entirely win the court case. So with that, the world is within its mission to take every bit of honey out of their system, including taking out Winnie the Pooh for some reason. Goddamn! And due to all that effort, it's left all of nature's flowers to die out because of it. It leaves Vanessa out of a job as she works on flowers as a florist. And Vanessa tries to show and educate Barry on the situation he caused. Excuse me? You wanted to side with him in court and try to learn law to help him sue the frickin' human race. Seriously, where was this knowledge from before? You gaslighter, you knew absolute jack shit. So Vanessa says that she's going to California as there's a parade there with all the last remaining flowers there, which sparks an idea from Barry to help bring nature back altogether. So they just go and steal a car. Seriously, Vanessa, are we really breaking the law for a bee here?
Without arousing suspicion.
We are really breaking the law for a bee here! So they stock the flowers in the plane, and with Barry trying to get the pilots to help him with these plans to repopulate the last remaining flowers, it leads to both pilots knocking each other out. And with that, he calls in Vanessa to help ride the plane. The fact that Barry has just dragged Vanessa into these stressful situations, and yet she still dedicates to listening and helping this bee is wild to me. Some thunder hits the plane, and it causes the plane to be in trouble as it's slowly going out of control, but luckily, and I quite mean luckily, millions of pollen drugs come in to safely land the plane, because bees can somehow, with all their power together, help land a plane safely. Good lord, this movie is dumb. They all celebrate, but Barry makes a speech that they need to fix what he had caused, and this is where he is then trusted to become a pollen jock, helping out the crew to revert the world's damages back to normal. To which they do, fairly quickly, as their pollen manages to revive all the flowers that died already. Okay, look, I'm not really a nature guy myself, but don't think that's how it works. And so they live happily ever after. Except for Ken, who literally has to witness a bee steal everything away from him. Christ, man, 1 like equals 1 hashtag justice for Ken. Seriously, justice for Ken. He was robbed. He was made to be a villain in this when he did nothing wrong. And that was the bee movie. How do you even rate this? This is such a questionable movie. This story is all over the place, starting as a simple beat one's more out of life kind of tale, and then it just turns into a bizarre romance between a woman and a bee, courtroom drama, and somehow a full environmental crisis happening all at once. The jokes are very weird, the logic is non-existent, and the fact that Vanessa basically threw her entire life away for a talking bee is just beyond words to describe how much therapy that this woman needs. Same for kidnap, because that kind of situation would have me needing to wear a straitjacket. And with that, I think I've spent beyond enough time talking about this movie. Follow all my socials, subscribe now, and always remember, always be careful for who you fall for. Shut up, I do not care, I'm keeping that in the edit.